Backstage Capital.
I'm going to sing an old Negro spiritual to start us off. If you ever want to go silent, that'd be great.
Who's excited about the iconic Arlen Hamilton being? We're excited to have us with Candace Mitchell-Mahan.
Candace.
So first and foremost, welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you very much.
Have you been here before?
I've been here before, yes, on
Okay.
tour and in general. You know, I was raised in Texas, born in Mississippi, so I've been here a few times.
Awesome. Well, I read that you help orchestrate shows for acts like CeeLo Green, which we love CeeLo, you know, ATL.
Yeah, that's why I was here a lot.
So tell us about your life briefly before Backstage Capital and what really inspired you to make or have that light bulb moment to switch from the music industry to the venture capital world.
I'm 37, just to give context, and spent I would say half of my adult life without an address, without a home. And I had worked my way into the touring world through sheer will, I would say, hard work. And I was on tour, so I was working for CeeLo for a couple of years, and had a print magazine in my 20s. You know, did all these different things that I tried to build for myself because I'm a terrible employee. I just really am. I mean, I learn quickly and I have a good work ethic, but I'll cuss somebody out real fast.
So what sparked the light bulb moment to venture capital?
So I had been around 2012, had started learning about startups, just what that meant, what a startup was.
Right.
So I started learning about that because of the people who were investing that were from the entertainment world. I started seeing, you know, Ellen was a big investor, still is, a seed state investor. And I'm gay, so Ellen is the mothership. And Ashton Kutcher was doing it, and I thought, that's so interesting, what are they doing? So I learned about it, and I'm like, oh, startups, that's what I've been doing this whole time, I didn't even know it. So I was working with companies that had straight white males as CEOs. So I would send these decks out to the different angels and to the different VCs that I knew, and without fail, if the deck said, or had a picture of a black woman, or a woman, or a man who looked like a woman, or a person of color, they'd come back and say, I don't get the market. So it's this bias of, I don't get it, so I can't be part of it. And then there's this one more layer of investment, especially when it comes to VCs, it's numbers, but a lot of it is, can we go to the game together? Can we get a beer later? Can I talk to you about whatever? And maybe that straight white male investor in Silicon Valley does not think they can kick it with a 40-year-old black woman from Atlanta. And that's not all of it. I'm never gonna say that's all of it, but it plays a part, and you can't tell me it doesn't. So all of that was going on in my knocking around my noggin. And so I was mad. I'm a black gay woman. I mean, you're telling me everything I am is wrong here. Okay, so let me do the math here. Like, they're not writing checks to us because they're not us. Okay, so what if more people who could write checks wrote checks? Maybe more people who look like us would get the checks. But somebody should open a fund that only invests in women, people of color, and LGBT folks.
So for all the entrepreneurs in the room, I know they really want to know how to land an investment.
A lot of times what I'll see when people are hurting themselves and like shooting themselves in the foot is if I ask a question or another investor asks a question and they get real defensive real fast. Especially when it comes to me, like that to me is, if you no. And then, I mean, I can tell you, if you go and you talk to some of our founders, which you're more than welcome to do, go to our website, look at our founders, check it out, get in touch with a couple, not a lot. Don't go and spam anybody because they will tell me. Pick 2 or 3 that say, oh, I relate to them. Let me talk to them and ask how it is to be in Backstage. Have a long-term vision and a strategy, and lose the entitlement.
So how can we all here in Atlanta support you and the Backstage Capital movement?
Yeah, I love that question. So, you know, I go around and I talk to people because I want to share this journey to let people know that they can do it. You know, this has not been easy, but I see you. You know, there are people that are paying attention, and it's only getting better, even if it doesn't feel like that. You know, on the local level, it is getting better than what it was. I would say the way that I'd really appreciate, I think there's about 80 some people in the room. You know, if everybody went on Twitter and followed me, Arlan, A-R-L-A-N, is that how you spell my name? A-R-L-A-N, was here, and followed me and tweeted out and told a friend about Backstage. Listen to our podcast, go to the website, backstagecapital.com, look in the green room area. I promise you what makes the most impact is when I go somewhere and I meet people and they talk about what Backstage is doing. That is when I get the emails from the people that have been kind of the family offices that have just been in the wings. They say, oh, I heard about you from this person.
Right.
You know, you never know. So supporting us in that way, listening to the podcast, we make that podcast for you. That's why I do it. That's why I lose my voice every week. Because I can't invest in everybody, shouldn't invest in everyone. But we're trying to share the journey with everyone.
Right.
So you can see this example of it. Right. So that's the biggest way I can think of right now.
Awesome. Well, we got you. We're very inspired. Thank you.
Thank
again
you.
for being here tonight. Let's give Arlan a round of applause.
Thank you.
So if someone coming out of undergrad, how can we break into venture capital? What advice could you give someone like myself?
Be a real loudmouth lesbian on Twitter. Are you familiar with hbcu.vc?
Yes.
Okay. I'm all parts of that. I love that model. I would say no matter what your profile, your background, or aspirations are, always be authentically you, because you have to live with yourself. And nothing in this, I'm over here, I can tell you nothing in the VC world is worth losing that.
Interested in your feedback, maybe are there any companies in your portfolio who have social impact focus, or kind of the general trends that you see in venture capital for social impact companies, but we're very, very focused on profit as well?
Yeah, with the social impact thing, I think it's still, even for me, I'm thinking about it for myself, trying to be aware of my feelings on it. It actually still feels, I don't see cha-ching when it happens. So
Well, I can show you.
I want you to, and that's the thing. I know it is because I'm a social impact fund, you know. So I'm like, that's weird. So it still has this sort of stigma thing.
Yeah.
So like, make it cha-ching.
Can you speak more to showing or being what the investor wants to see and telling them everything you want to see and being yourself?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's a great question. It's also, it's like, I just don't know any better. Like I mean, why sell your soul for a check? I mean, we've made it this far without the check. We like ourselves. You know, I believe in studying the craft. So studying those 16 to 24, however many black women have raised a million, studying what they do. And I know most of them, I can tell you that they have a great deal of integrity. So if you want to mimic something, mimic that for sure.
Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you. My name is JB. I've been following you now for a good while.
Hey, JB.
Backstage. First, I want to thank you. I got to go. Today's my son's birthday.
Go!
I got to go. He's 4 14th birthday. I had to come here to see you.
Girl, you better go.
So I just want to thank you for the T-shirt, for the book that you gave me, Angel Book. I'm a big fan of our podcast. Please
Thank
go
you.
Go take a look at it.
Thank you. Can I have you do exactly that everywhere I go? Just kind of halfway through the Q&A.